I want to say here that the 5 dimensions of the self that we refer to are dimensions of the self related to the earth consciousness. There are other levels that we will not go into because they are not related to the earth consciousness and would not be understood in earth terms. To be able to comprehend and conceive of what has already been shared will be enough to stretch the minds of the souls of the many who will come into contact with the vibrations of this information. Realm, we here at the Institute believe that most people have out-of-body experiences while they sleep. Earlier, you seemed to indicate that this is true. Could you elaborate on that? The dream process is an energy cleansing process and goes through all 5 bodies during each major period of sleep. When the first 2.5 levels have been processed in the time dimension, the second 2.5 levels, being higher energy systems, are processed in another way, for they exist in the timeless level. Souls wander around in all dimensions in this state, visiting loved ones and doing whatever is necessary to survive the earth trauma. When souls reach the 2.5 dimension point, they experience themselves as flying, because at this point they are moving into the timeless dimension and re-released from the magnetism of the earth energy. Most souls can remember the flying dreams because they are still connected to the earth consciousness level. They often wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the world. Unless one is an advanced soul who lives somewhat consciously in its higher energy state of 2.5 and beyond, he or she will not remember out-of-body experiences. The service souls, those more spiritually advanced and living in the miracle levels of 5th dimensional energies, do some very conscious work in the higher energy states during their dreaming period. Their work from this higher energy level is to gather their helpers to go into the lower energies to help release souls and answer prayers for help. They are angels and can often appear in human form to help in different areas of the world. They are in control of their energies and can be at more than one place at a time. The service souls of angelic substance work in the dream state and also in a consciously awake state at all times. Chapter 16. Alien Energy Systems. After many sessions of intense cleansing and preparation, my invisible helpers were ready to take me back onto an alien spacecraft. I must have been working at a very deep energy level during the spacecraft experiences that followed, because I could not remember any details after each of these sessions. Bob was eager to get back in contact with the aliens so that he could get more information. He was particularly fascinated with the technology involved in getting me onto the spacecraft. The invisible helpers would put me on some kind of a beam and actually beam me up, Star Trek style. ROMC. I am in a state that seems so clear. I can hear the words, "You are going to be in a crystal clear energy field and will feel very alert. We are going to take you through a special experience today." Ram, okay, follow the flow as usual. I am going down a road. I can see trees around me and a car in front of me. I'm traveling at a fast rate of speed. All of a sudden, everything is changing. The road under me is like a reflection, and it's getting further and further away. I'm taking off from the planet. Now I'm being put into a special kind of chamber, a clear energy ball. I'm traveling in it, and it seems that I am being cleansed. My mind, energy body, and all aspects of me are being cleansed to prepare me for this experience. The thought just went through my mind again that everything seemed so clear. Then I heard the words, "You must have a crystal clear perception." That is what we are trying to create. I'm traveling rapidly on a light wave and in a very direct channel toward an object. It looks like what would be considered an unidentified flying object. I can hear the words, "We are taking you to do some work here and to continue teaching you from this standpoint." As I am coming closer, it appears to be a very large type of spacecraft, like a mothership. I get the impression that my friends are going to take me through it and describe to me what's there. I've come in on a beam to the very center of this spacecraft. The ship is oblong, and I'm being taken into the top area. Now I'm in a beautiful dome that sticks up on the top. From here we can look out and see the rest of the ship. It's very long, and I can see the glow from all kinds of windows along the side. I can see in all directions. We're suspended in space. It seems to be dark outside. I can look straight out to stars and planets. There are some people, or whatever you would call them, who seem to be working. 2 of them are sitting at some instruments and appear to be talking. I can hear strange sounds like a loud gibberish. They're working over the instruments. I'll go closer. Wow! On the instrument panel are all types of glowing, vibrating colors. And there's a steady hum in this room. The room is circular, and there is something in the center, a beam that comes right up into this dome. The beam is pulsating and changing colors some way in relation to the lights along the sides of the ship. And the lights seem to change. It's a special type of energy. I get the impression that this is the control room that runs the ship. Let me describe the 2 beings. They are proportioned differently from us. Overall, they are more triangular shaped. Their chests are higher and bigger than ours, and they have larger heads. In fact, they have very large heads. Their shoulders are fairly broad, but their arms aren't very long. Then they come down into a narrow waist. Their legs aren't long either. They both seem to have something around their heads, I think, to use in running the ship. And their faces are, well, it doesn't look as if they have any ears. And I can see little what must be eyes that aren't very big and are extremely smooth. They don't seem to have noses. Their mouths seem to be little more than slits, with different volumes of sounds coming from them. Now my invisible helpers are letting me know that they are going to take me through this ship. There's a group of the extraterrestrial beings I'm to talk with. These beings have a plan and a purpose, which we are going to discuss, but this will take several sessions. This is only the introduction. They tell me that I have to go back now to planet Earth. They are going to send me back on the energy beam, but I will return later. Bob was so excited as we began working with the extraterrestrials that he encouraged me to have extra sessions beyond our regularly scheduled ones. These meetings took place in December 1976 and January 1977. At that time, not much was being said or published about UFOs, to my knowledge. Interestingly, in late 1995, a news broadcast special stated that with the breakup of the USSR, the Soviet government's UFO files had become public record. These records indicated some major UFO sightings in 1977 in parts of the Soviet Union. In one incident, a spacecraft hovered over a major atomic energy center, setting off an alarm that could have triggered atomic missiles. The alarm was quickly shut off and no action was taken. Was a spacecraft checking to see how the extraterrestrials could prevent an atomic war? I was fascinated by this news special since it was reporting on the time period when I was being taken onto the mothership in our lab sessions. ROMC. I hear a very high tone. I get the impression that it's associated with the energy wave I'm traveling on. Now I'm going through the cleansing process again. It's very energizing. I see a circle at the end of the energy beam. The circle is the crystal clear energy ball I traveled in before. Now I'm traveling very rapidly. Suddenly my body is in an expanded state of awareness. We are approaching what seems like the same spacecraft as before, but the beam that's carrying me appears to be coming in at the bottom of the craft this time. I didn't realize it had a type of control center, like an inverted dome, extending out at the bottom of the ship. I am going in.